Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jody Weiler from Great Garment Graphics, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you attending our webinar today, Top 10 Must-Haves for Custom Heat Printing. For those of you that have joined us in previous Transfer Express webinars, you may be familiar with Andy Curtis. He's our resident how-to gentleman who joins us, in order to educate customers and anybody new into heat printing, and also those of you who just want to stay educated. And so Andy has been with Transfer Express for more than 10 years. He's a dealer services team leader as well as a trainer in charge of new rep education and continuing education, which is part of this for what he does for the current reps. For those of you headed to SGIA next week, you'll get to meet Andy in person. It'll be his first time in Vegas, so give him a wave and tell him hi. And with that, I'd like to welcome Andy. Hi, Andy. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Jody. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody. Thank you for attending today. And yes, if you see me in Vegas, SGIA, please do wave. It should be interesting. I'm intimidated and excited all at the same time. Right off the bat, though, if you've joined me before, you know that we like to start the webinar with two quick polls, just so we have an idea of who we're talking to. It helps me gauge what exactly you want me to ramble on about. So, Jody, if you want to run our first poll question.
Yep, our first poll question is, when do you plan to add heat printing?
This is actually a really good question for this webinar because we're going to talk a lot about topics that might be great for you newbies, topics that are great for the people who've been doing this for a while, but this helps me know how new you newbies are.
We'll give it just a couple more seconds, and then I'll close it up. So there you go, Andy. 78% are ready to go.
Okay, good. Wow, all right. So a lot more current users than newbies. I was not expecting that. Okay. And we've got one more poll question. If you would run that one, please, Jody.
And the next one is, what market do you think will supply the bulk of your customers? Or, since if you're already up and running, obviously, what is the largest market that you receive business from currently?
Exactly. This is another great question because I know everybody's shop tends to have a different demographic. It always astounds me how many different customers we can have in our industry and how some people can make a living totally off of one of these parts of the industry and not the others. It's always so interesting.
There we go. Between sports and schools is the biggest one. 46% for business and 21% are doing fashion.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody, for helping me with those polls. And if throughout the duration of the webinar, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box there. Jody's going to be behind the scenes helping me out with those. If I happen to catch a glance at one of them, I'll do my best to answer. And if you've joined me before, you know that I will fill the 45 to hour mark quite well. So if there's time at the end, we will do some questions and answers if I can manage to not ramble on that long. So with that being said, thank you again for attending Top 10 Must-Haves for Custom Heat Printing. We're going to cover a little bit of everything today. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? I think there's only one thing that we could have in the #1 slot for top 10 must-haves for custom printing, and that is it all starts with a heat press. Obviously, if you're going to get into custom printing, you have to have the means to do the custom printing. So maybe that's a little bit of a cop-out, but hey, it's true. The #1, the thing you got to have is a heat press. I come from an entrepreneurial family. I don't know about the rest of you, but my family is very much into starting businesses, business people, and it has always stunned me how every other business out there, you have to have such a massive investment into equipment and training and building and all sorts of stuff. In our industry, we're so totally unique in that the one thing you need to start your business, the one thing is a heat press. And since we have such a high concentration of those of you ready to go, no doubt you already know that. So quite impressive how our industry works. Just to, ooh, I'm missing a picture there. Sorry about that, everybody. My autoclam picture seems to have escaped me. But just some key points to consider for those of you who were not in that 78%, for the other, what would that be, 22% of you that are not ready to go just yet. Here are some things to keep in mind when you get to the point of purchasing your heat press. Number one, budget. Make sure that you're considering what direction to go in terms of, we have the higher end heat presses, we've got the Cadillacs, and then we've got the more cost-effective budget heat presses. So keep in mind that there are the different price points depending on how much money you have to spend. And things that should go into that consideration are, how often are you going to use the press? How often is it going to be turned on? Is it something you think you're going to use every single day, or is it something you think it's going to be sporadic? So just things to keep in mind. Space is another big deal, especially because the two models, and I know our autoclam picture isn't showing here, but the two pictures we do have, the clam machine on the left and the Fusion on the right, the Fusions take up a lot of space. Because of the swing feature, there's going to be a lot of room necessary if you're going to go the direction of a Fusion. So you got to bear in mind where you're putting your heat press at. Are you doing this in your garage, in your basement, or are you renting out a building? Do you have a shop that you're working with? So different things you got to keep in mind in terms of space. And then where exactly is the press going? Not just what room, but what are you putting it on? Do you have a cart? Do you have a table? At Transfer Express and the Groupstall family of companies, we have a heat press caddy that fits the Hotronics machines. It's the perfect stand to place the machine on with the wheels and such. It's quite a piece of equipment. But bear in mind, are you going to be the type of person that takes your heat press to events? Because that is a fantastic avenue to go. For those of you who have never tried taking your heat press to an event, a sporting event, or a marathon event type situation, those are great money-making opportunities. But when you are exploring that option, keep in mind that the Fusion presses are much heavier and they're a little more difficult to take around with you, especially if you're a small operation, to where the Max machines are going to be a little bit lighter, easier to have with you in your car and such. So just some things to keep in mind when you're considering which heat press to go with. Now, one of the other benefits to the Hotronics family of presses that we're looking at in these pictures here is that they have the interchangeable platens available for them as well. If you've ever tried pressing on something that you have a lot of obstacles like seams, buttons, plackets, that kind of thing, you know that there are challenges out there when you're doing heat printing, and the interchangeable bottom platens are a great option to help you get around seams and buttons and plackets and all that kind of stuff. So things to consider when we're talking about heat presses. Okay, so, but again, based on that poll, I know that we've got a lot of you who are current, so I'm going to assume that 78% of you probably already has a heat press. So, so that being said, let's move on to point number 2. If you've got your heat press, you've got the thing you need to do the heat printing. So what's next? Well, customers, the people to buy your items, the people to order from you. Customers are a necessity, but the big question, and I guess the only question in the business world, is how do you get customers? Where do they come from? How do you drum them up? And this is actually a really fun topic in and of itself, because one of the neat things about working here at Transfer Express is that customers will present themselves to you sometimes. Sometimes you got to dig, sometimes you got to go looking. This first one is one I can definitely speak to. Personal contacts. Personal contacts are probably one of the best ways for you to find customers for your heat printing business. Organizations you belong to, whether it be a garden club or some kind of gaming club, they need t-shirts, right? And you've got a custom printing business, so shouldn't you be providing them with those t-shirts? Friend, son's team, neighbor's business, teens you see in the garage practicing with their band. All these are things that if you observe everyday life, and Ted Stahl says this in his blog, actually, if you've ever read tedstahl.com, he points out that there are opportunities for custom t-shirts all over the place. You just have to look a little bit. You just have to pay attention. And that is actually a fantastic point. If you think outside the box a little bit, if you put your custom heat printing hat on and you look out at day-to-day life, you'll see tons of opportunities with just people you know, opportunities for custom shirts. If a group of friends of yours are taking a vacation to Hilton Head, I have a family member who just contacted me a week ago. There's a group of family members, and they didn't invite me, actually. I'm just realizing this, that are going to Hilton Head for a vacation, and they wanted shirts for it. Fantastic opportunity. So point being, there's lots of potential customers out there for you. And keep in mind, even if that goofy little Hilton Head t-shirt, even if that's just a couple t-shirts and it's more of a joke than anything else, you've done one order for that person. And as long as you handle that order well, and we'll talk about some of these things a little bit later on, pricing and such, as long as you handle that order well, they're going to come back to you when they need shirts for their business or for their son's basketball team or baseball team or such. So these are all, personal contacts are the fantastic, one of the best ways to start your spider web of customers, your web of customers. Another point here, another point that I can speak to is the sports. Look up who runs the local recreational leagues. Here in the city of Mentor, where Transfer Express is located, we're a pretty decently sized suburb of Cleveland. There are a ton of recreational leagues, and this is just my experience here in Mentor. There's a ton of recreational leagues out here for just about every sport you could possibly imagine. And keep in mind that all of those sports, they all need jerseys. All of those jerseys are going to need numbers and fronts, so you've got fronts and backs, plus helmets, plus anything else, hats and all sorts of stuff. All of those leagues need the items heat pressed for them. So find those recreational leagues, find out who the league director is, and contact them. Sometimes it comes down to finding out who the coaches are and contacting the coaches individually. Point is, in cities even as small as Mentor, and we're by no means, we're not that big. We're just a suburb of Cleveland. And if a city like us, we have so many different rec leagues out there, how many rec leagues are in your area? And how many different customers could you wrangle up just based on those rec leagues alone? So a great point there. To continue the theme in terms of more customers, local schools. That's one of the obvious ones, local schools. But what's funny about the local school system is how many organizations in the school system can use T-shirts. Not just the sports teams. And those are the obvious answer, obviously. The school's basketball team, the soccer team, the baseball team. They're all going to need heat-pressed items. They're all going to need jerseys. But beyond that, the boosters, the fundraisers, the spirit store, that's a huge one. I'm not going to tell you how long I've been out of Mentor High School, but even so many years ago, I remember the spirit store being full of heat transfer items, as a matter of fact. So just all sorts of people within the local school need transfers. And it's easy to get your foot in the door there just by showing them what you can do, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the webinar also. Local businesses, though, too, are another great one. The mom and pop businesses, the small startup businesses, those are great because right when you see them start, right when you see them open their doors, you know right off the bat they need uniforms. They need some kind of t-shirt or hat or maybe tote bag giveaways or something to that effect, thinking about their advertising. They're going to need custom printed items from you. So again, applying this to just living out here in Mentor, Ohio, we have startup businesses. We have these things going on right now. Just down the street, a hairdresser opened up from where I'm living, so that's a fantastic opportunity for some local person to walk in and hand a business card and a catalog, an idea book, and say, here's what I can do, give me a call. And then, of course, online newspapers display upcoming events. Upcoming events are another fantastic way to get sales. If there's a festival or a carnival or some kind of activity in your city coming up, then that's a fantastic opportunity for you to make shirts for this carnival or festival or what have you. Somebody's got to make shirts for it after all. Why not you? So and these are just ideas. There's all sorts of places customers can come from, but these are some ideas as to where you can get these customers from. And as a little side note, because it's occurring to me right now that I didn't mention it at the very beginning of the webinar, if I have moved a little too quickly or you want to study these slides and ruminate on them a little bit, at greatgarmentgraphics.com, a PDF version of the slides will be available probably tomorrow or so. So make sure to check back if you need a PDF copy of these slides. Okay, so those are customers. So you've got your heat press. You've got an idea of where to get the customers from. The next step that we get a lot of questions on here at Transfer Express is pricing. Now keep in mind that this is just a guideline. This is not by any means set in stone. This is something for you to start with and then customize as you see fit. Because I cannot speak to the financial state of your current economy wherever you're at in our country, so I can't speak to where you're at and how much you have to charge for your products. But a good place for you to start, we're using the example of the young man in the picture here, the gold jersey that he's wearing. Let's just say, to make it a fluffy round number, $10. $10 for that shirt is what you're paying to get that from Broder Brothers or Teamwork or whomever you're getting that shirt from. And as a note of consequence here, we're going to get to garment wholesalers a little bit later in the webinar too. But let's say we're starting with that $10 shirt. You can see that the Darien Knights design that's on the front there, that is a screen printed transfer that is 2 colors, and for 25 pieces, so that might be a couple extras for the baseball team, maybe some parent shirts, who knows. 25 pieces, 2 colors is $4.44 per piece. So total your cost, and I know you can sort of see an American flag on his sleeve, but we're gonna say keep it simple, stupid, and we're gonna ignore that American flag on the young man's sleeve there. We're gonna say that it's just the Darien Knights and the jersey there. The total cost for you there is $14.44 per piece. Your rule of thumb is to take your cost, that $14.44 in this example, and double that. That's your selling price. So you double that $14.44, you get $28.88. Now, this is where the little additions come on, like the American flag on his sleeve. We sell packs of the American flags here at Transfer Express, super cheap for 50 American flags. I believe it's $24. You slap an American flag on there, and now you can jack that price up just a little bit more. Let's say make it a $30. $30 is a good round number. So again, just an idea. The point is, this is a starting place for you. Now, there's all sorts of questions you have to ask yourself about this topic of pricing. Let's say the Darien Knights is a team you've been trying to get to buy from you for a couple years, and you're looking to start a relationship with these people. If you're getting a warm, fuzzy feeling from your contact at the league, let's say, maybe to lock them in, you want to knock just a little bit off that price. These are questions you have to ask yourself about how you're going to run your heat printing business. Do you want to knock a little bit of money off of local businesses, local teams, if you want to establish yourself? Because keep in mind, like we're going to talk about in just a minute here, word of mouth is your best advertising tool. And if you knock just a little bit of money off somebody who's local, I assure you that word of mouth travels. So there's questions you have to ask yourself in regards to your pricing that I can't direct you. I can just put the idea in your head. So just a point to ask yourself in that regard. But aside from that, doubling your cost is a good starting place. Okay, so that's a popular question here at Transfer Express. Now, number 4, order forms. I admit that when the topic first came up, I thought, order forms, oh no, we don't need to cover that. But I can actually, upon thinking on this a little bit, this is a real necessity for not just you, but for your customer too. Have a custom order form. Take some time, bust out Microsoft Word or some kind of word processing software, and make yourself just an organized order form. The reason is it's going to be helpful for both you and your customer to have the information in a clean, organized fashion, a place where you can write down all the bits and pieces. You'll be surprised how, if you're just writing on scratch paper, you'll be surprised about how once in a while you'll forget a key piece of info. Or God forbid, if you talked about it verbally and you didn't write it down somewhere, oh God, what was that due date? Was it the 13th or the 14th, or maybe the 20th? So point being, order forms are a fantastic tool for you to organize yourself, for you to make sure you're getting the necessary info from your customer. It's a great place to do some creative thinking also. Like you see, our example of our order form here. We've got the t-shirt, sweatpants, and the hat and stuff. It's a good way to get the customers' creative juices flowing. And as just a little side note, just a little preview, I heard a rumor in our marketing department that here at Transfer Express we're working on downloadable custom order forms for you all to use with your customers. So just a little bug to put out there to make sure to check back to transferexpress.com in the future. So just a rumor, but the pieces of information that you're going to want to make sure you're collecting are the important stuff, like contact information. How often do you sit there and think, oh gosh, I got to call her, where's her phone number, in regards to one of your customers? So order forms are a good place to organize your contact info, the shirt styles and sizes, another piece of info that seems to go missing at the worst times. Due dates, print locations especially, don't mix up what's on the front and the back, or make sure to give your customer a way to illustrate what's on the front and the back. And of course, like you see the second page of my example there, names and numbers. Names and numbers are a real easy thing to mix up and flip-flop, so having them organized on an order form is a fantastic way to keep yourself straight. So again, this isn't the type of thing that's going to make or break your business, but this is something that helps a heck of a lot when you have yourself organized. And keep in mind, if you have a nice order form like this, it says something about you to your customer. It's sort of an image thing. So just keep that in the back of your head, something to think about if you're not already doing this. Artwork. Artwork, it's funny that we've got it at number 5 because we can almost put this at number 1 or number 2 or number 3, but artwork, if you're going to do custom printing, the artwork needs to come from somewhere, right? Now, sometimes your customers have their own artwork. There are times when people will walk in your business with a disc, or they'll email you. If you're a web-based, home-based business, they'll shoot you an email with a JPEG or a PDF or something like that. So there are times when your customers will get a hold of you and they've already got their artwork in hand. And that's great. When that happens, forward the artwork along, and you're golden. That's perfectly acceptable. But there are going to be plenty of times, and if you joined me last month's webinar, we talked about this in a crazy amount of depth. There are times when people walk into your business and they say, hey, I need basketball shirts. I don't know what I want them to look like. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm sure if you all could share, I'm sure that there are all sorts of stories about that. So point being, you need to get artwork from somewhere. And at Transfer Express, we offer you a place to get the artwork from. We offer you Easy Prints and our Idea Book. Easy Prints are pre-made customizable layouts that you can choose and change, like the page that you see in the example here, the picture on the page there. That is a page out of our Idea Book. The Idea Book is a book full of these Easy Prints layouts, organized into sports and events and that kind of stuff. So when that basketball coach walks into your shop and says, hey, I need basketball shirts, but I really don't know exactly what I want, you flip open to the basketball section, you show them what you got. We've got thousands of layouts, thousands of clip arts, and again, the whole idea, all of these layouts, they start off saying Compton Eagles. Now, raise of hands, everyone who's making shirts for Compton. I'm sure that's probably not a lot of people. You can change the Compton Eagles of every layout to say your city name info. So if you're the Mentor Cardinals, you change the Compton Eagles to Mentor Cardinals, etc. So the whole idea is you can change these layouts to look however you want. Now, as a side note there, what we have at the bottom of the slide, if you are looking to get into graphic art yourself, if you're looking to cross that bridge, the two recommended programs, or not recommended, but programs that are certainly most used in our industry are CorelDRAW and Adobe Illustrator. Here at Transfer Express, we do use CorelDRAW, a fantastic tool. So just to put that out there. But let's expand upon this idea of artwork just a little bit and explain again. Easy Prints are what we offer here at Transfer Express. The whole concept is we're looking to give you a way of coming up with cool, cutting-edge, hip artwork without you yourself having to be the graphic artist making the artwork. So for example here, we're looking at one of our most popular basketball designs, and if any of you think this looks vaguely familiar, these layouts this year were made by Dane Clement of Great Dane Graphics. He has joined the Groupstall family of companies, so these are Great Dane designs here. But we're starting off with this, on the far left side, QBK 181. So we're starting with QBK 181. Obviously, this team is not the Compton such and such. This team is the Grafton Jaguars. So you see they started with that QBK 181, but then they changed it. They changed Compton to Grafton, changed the little word basketball. I don't know how well you can see it on the slide there, but just under the shield shape there's the word basketball. They changed that to say Jaguars. So you make a couple little subtle changes, and keep in mind you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've put all the clip arts into that layout. You could change them if you wanted to, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they left all the clip arts the same, and lo and behold, there you have it. You call us here at Transfer Express. You tell us, hey, I want QBK 181. Here's what I want it to look and say. I want 25 pieces, one color dark green, and 2 to 3 days later, there's a box on your doorstep of your Grafton Jaguar transfers. So that's the idea here. This is how you're getting your artwork without you having to be a graphic designer yourself. And again, bear in mind that if your customer walks in with their own artwork, perfectly acceptable. You just forward that artwork along to us. But that being said, I know most people's reaction when they see Easy Prints for the first time, when you see our layouts, people's reaction generally is, show me. I'm a visual person, show me the money, explain it to me, show me how it works. So what say we pop out to our website real quick here and we do a demo of EasyView. Now, here we are at transferexpress.com. At the very top of the screen, the very first thing we have to do is log in. Now, if you've got a dealer ID and password, that's what you're going to use to log in. If you do not have a dealer ID and password, all you need to do to get said dealer ID and password is to place your first order with us here at Transfer Express. And hint, hint, that first order can be just a $15 catalog or a $49 marketing kit we're going to talk about in a little bit. So either way, first step is to log in. Here at the top of the screen, we're going to log in. And I'm going to use my, oh there we go. I'm going to use my, sorry here, there we go. How sad is it I haven't logged in a little while, so I had to stop and think about that one for a second. Okay, so there we go. Logged in with my dealer ID and password. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to come down here to View Layouts. You notice this blue button that's about midway down on the screen there, View Layouts with the bulldog. That's where I'm going to click. That's where I'm going to get to the layouts that we can do some customizing, shall we? Because that's the point here is once you have gotten your dealer ID and password with us here at Transfer Express, you can browse the layouts. You can choose the layout that you want. Let's go down to basketball since we've been using basketball as an example. And once you find a layout you like, you can actually customize it and see it customized right on our website. So let's see, I'm going to flip towards the back here and we're going to grab something like, let's say this one right here. That looks good. So we've chosen our layout. Here's the layout we're starting with, QBK 128. Let's say that you displayed these to your basketball coach that walked into your shop. This is the one that he likes. So we've logged in, we've pulled it up, QBK 128. Now you'll notice that right down from our example, you see the text here. Again, this is where we get to change our text. I'm just going to use Mentor, and then I'm going to say instead of Eagles, I'm going to say Wildcats, W-I-L-D-C-A-T-S. We've got 2012. I'm going to change 2013 on the left side there. And then the last bit is down here. We scroll down a little bit more. We see the circle and the basketball from our design. We're not the Eagles, though. You could click Browse, and you could get lost in our myriad of clip arts. We have tons and tons and tons of clip arts. You could totally get lost in there. You can click on whichever particular clip art you want to use, or you can continue to browse. Let's go to Animals. Let's go to Cats. And let's say, there you go. There's our Wildcat right there. Click on that Wildcat. So once you've got all your bits and pieces, you've got your text, you've got your clip arts, we're going to scroll back up to the top here. And notice off to the right-hand side where our preview will appear, we've got two options. We've got single color and we've got multicolor. Now here on EasyView on our website, you're limited to one or two colors. But when you're actually placing your order, you can do as many colors as you want. Our website simply is only going to display 1 or 2 colors. So keep in mind you're not limited. It's just what our website can show you. So let's say we want to do, let's just keep it simple. Let's say we're going to do 1 color. The primary color, and if you're confused at all, you can hover over this little question mark here, and it tells you the primary color is all the black area in the design. So if we wanted to do all the black areas there, let's say we wanted to do them red, we could very much go down to, there it is, there's red. And then apparel color, let's say we were going to put that on ash. Select ash. Once you've selected your colors, you click the rectangular Easy View button with the little paintbrush there. We're going to let it think for just a couple seconds here, and voila! There you have it. Now, let's say you show your basketball coach that, and he says, oh, that looks really slick, but, you know, what about doing this? What about doing that? You could sit here and play with this. You could change it up again. Now, again, we only have limited time in the webinar here, so I'm not going to sit here and play with Easy View too long, but you get the idea. And I am not joking when I tell you you can get lost in Easy View. You can sit here and play with this and kill half an hour, 45 minutes without really even thinking about it, and I can tell you that from experience. So lots of cool stuff you can sit here and play with and change up. And we're going to talk about some more uses for these Easy Print or Easy View previews. We're going to talk about some stuff you can do with these Easy View previews in just a couple minutes. So, but anyway, the whole point here, the reason we got out of the presentation, ooh, wrong button, hold on, there we are. The whole reason, the whole thing we were talking about was where to get your artwork from. So that was my whole point here, is showing you how easy it is to be an artist without having to have the graphic art software. A great place to get your artwork from. The artwork's pre-made. Our idea book, our Easy View, or Easy Prints layouts, all pre-made. So don't reinvent the wheel. Simply have our catalog, flip it open to whatever section is necessary, and it sells itself. So just that's where to get your artwork from. So let's continue on, shall we? Number 6, printing services. You need a place to get different services from. When you've got your heat press, you're going to make sure to ally yourself with a company that can offer you all sorts of different services, that can provide you with all the things you need. Here at Transfer Express, we can provide you with all sorts of stuff: screen printed transfers, digital transfers, rhinestone transfers, numbers, names, stock transfers. But what's best about allying yourself with a company like Transfer Express is we offer you the Group Stall family of companies. When you're ready to upgrade your business, when you're ready to take the next step, we can help you take the next step. Whether that next step is adding a cutter, maybe that next step is figuring out how to do custom rhinestones, maybe that next step is add specialty or signs, or whatever it might be. When you're ready to take that next step with your company, we can help you take that next step with the Group Stall family of companies. So when you're starting your business, when you're lining yourself up, you've got your heat press, you've got customers lined up, you're ready to start, you want to make sure to ally yourself with a company that can give you the things you need. So just something to keep in mind when you're asking yourself who you're doing business with, what you're getting from who you're getting it from, who can take you where, who can take you to the next step, what can they do for you, what are all the capabilities of that company, what do they offer. So just something to keep in mind. Sales tools, stuff that everybody needs. Sales tools, bits and pieces to help drudge up some sales, to help you do what you need to do, help you seal the deal, if you will. And I've got a couple things here to mention. Number 1 is the marketing kit that we offer here at Transfer Express. Years ago, the marketing kit, sort of the joke about the marketing kit was it's sort of your business in a box, actually. As funny as it sounds, it really is. The marketing kit is a selection of items that are made to make your life easier. They're put together to help you clinch a sale, to help you seal the deal. It includes our idea book, which shows you all of our easy prints, customizable layouts, a personalized idea book though, so it's got your name on the cover. It looks very professional. Retail price guide with the suggested value. Again, we talked about prices just a couple minutes ago about the doubling idea with prices. Well, we provide you with a retail price guide that has all of those prices laid out on a nice heavy stock sheet of paper, very professional looking. Color selector shows you all of our printed colors, so you can easily show your customer the selection of pinks when you're doing that breast cancer run, if they want soft pink or bubblegum pink or what have you. It just gives you a window cling for your shop if you have a retail shop. A great window cling to put in your window to tell people what you do. Marketing kit includes 40 samples. 40 samples, and what's cool about those samples is they are the transfers that the people in the idea book are wearing in the photographs. So if somebody is looking through the idea book and they see something on one of the pages they like, hey, that girl's wearing a cool shirt, one of the samples you'll get in the idea book is that transfer, actually. And then the marketing kit also gets you $10 off your next order. So fantastic sales tool, a great way to start. And again, the marketing kit's not going to make people appear at your doorstep, but when people do come to your doorstep, it's going to give you the tools necessary to help you look professional, to help you get them to say yes to an order. Another sales tool we provide you with here at Transfer Express is flyers. And in general, flyers are a great sales tool regardless of where you're getting them from. Flyers just to show your customers what you can do. That's half the battle. If you can show somebody what you're capable of, then that is half of selling the order, half of sealing the deal right there in and of itself. So here at Transfer Express, we make flyers easy for you. On our website, we have flyers that are pre-made. You can simply download them, print them out, and put them in your box when you're delivering transfers. Put them in the bags when you're sealing up baseball players' uniforms. Pass them out to the schools. Pass them out to people who walk by your shop. Flyers are a fantastic way to get your name out there. But at transferexpress.com, we offer you blank flyers also, where you can download the blank flyer and use EasyView, what I just showed you on our website. Use EasyView to generate some ideas and then import those ideas onto the blank flyer. So you can make your own flyer. And that's all through transferexpress.com. Some more sales tools here. Business cards. Here's a thought for everybody, and this can be extended to more than just people who do the baseball teams, but here's a thought for you. Individual packaging, and this sort of goes with these 2 points all together on this slide. This is actually sort of roped into one here. When you're packaging your product, especially baseball teams or any kind of team where you're doing an entire uniform, package the uniforms individually, because if you deliver one big box of shirts to a school or to somewhere and just give that one person your business card, you're only showing one person, that one coach, your business card. You're only showing that one person what you can do. If you individually package those uniforms, put them in a bag, seal the bag up, and inside every bag, put your business card. Suddenly, all those families that are getting all those products, they also know who you are. And when mom and dad need shirts for their visit to Hilton Head, they're going to know who to go to. Or you get the idea. It's a fantastic way to get your name out there. And what's great about it is because you're individually packing these uniforms, mom and dad are already seeing your product. They've got it in their hands there. So why not give them a business card also? And make sure whatever packaging you're using, regardless of whether it is baseball or family reunions, whatever orders you're doing, whatever packaging you're using, make sure that you're labeling it. Make sure that you're branding it. Have stickers, put stickers on your boxes, put stickers on your bags. Tell people who you are. Another fantastic example of this, actually, and we didn't include it on these slides. It didn't occur to me until after we put the presentation together. Great example, tags, shirt tags. We do a lot of shirt tag transfers here at Transfer Express. If you buy the shirts that have no printed info on the inside of them, you can heat press your own tag into those shirts with your company's name and info. Now that's sort of an example of maybe an advanced technique. That's not something that people right off the bat, right out the gate when you're starting your business, that might not be something to start with, but it's a direction to go once you've got some experience under your belt. printing a tag with your company name, you're literally branding your product. You're creating a brand there. So just some ideas on how to generate sales, how to get your name out there, some things to keep in mind. As promised, wholesale wholesale apparel suppliers. These are actually pretty easy to come across if you do a little bit of digging. Now, what's scary is how many wholesale suppliers there are out there. I know that if I asked all of you listening right now for some suggestions, I'd probably have upwards of 30, 20, 30 different ideas coming out of you guys. So just some places to look. If you're brand new out the gate and you're looking for suppliers, the best thing I tell people, and it depends on where you're at in the country, if you ever get a chance to go to a trade show, whether it is the Long Beach ISS trade show, whether it's the Las Vegas SGIA trade show, maybe the Nashville NBM trade show, any trade show anywhere in the country for our industry, there are going to be more wholesale suppliers there than you can shake a stick at, and they will be more than happy to give you their catalog for free, generally. So a trade show is a fantastic way for you to figure out who to be getting your blank garments from. A web search will also turn up a lot also if you hit Google and just type out blank t-shirts or wholesale t-shirts, what have you. Or there's the Transfer Express referral list. Some of our favorites here are Teamworks, Sanmar, and High Five. Again, these are just starting places, just ideas. A personal favorite of mine would be Broder Brothers. I adore Broder Brothers. I have a closet full of Broder Brothers clothes. I'm not sure if that's something to admit or not, but there you have it. So just some ideas, places to start when you're looking for wholesale suppliers, and there really are tons of them out there. You'll find some wholesalers that are more regional, that are not big names necessarily, and sometimes those are the better places to go. Sometimes those small wholesalers are willing to offer you better prices, free shipping, other little bits and pieces and perks. So don't get a status quo with your wholesale suppliers. If you are looking for something new and hip, don't be afraid to see what the next wholesale supplier is offering now. This day and age, I know 10 years ago, Broder Brothers, it was cool when they came out with a new t-shirt. This day and age, Broder Brothers has tie-dye. They've got camo. They've got garments that can be sublimated on even. So there's all sorts of craziness that comes out every year, all sorts of new stuff. So make sure to mix it up, educate yourself, go out there and look for these people and see what they offer, definitely. Advertising plan. Have an advertising plan. That's probably the other big thing here. This is every business wants an advertising plan. Every business needs one, and not everybody knows how to go about getting a plan or having a plan or making a plan. And we could probably do a 45-minute webinar in and of itself just on advertising. But just some key points for you all to remember, especially when you're a small business. It is the year 2012, folks. The internet is around to stay. I cannot push that enough. I'm always surprised by how many starting t-shirt businesses, heat printing businesses, don't have a web presence of any kind. It has never been easier for you to have a website, for you to get yourself on the internet, get out there, get your website, and when you have your website put together, make sure to link to easyprints.com, EASYPRINTS.com. Here's the reason. Unlike TransferExpress.com, TransferExpress.com has all of our pricing, has all of our info. That website's for you, for the people listening to the sound of my voice. EasyPrints.com is for your customers. EasyPrints.com doesn't have our info, doesn't have our pricing, doesn't have anything to do with us. If you send your customer to EasyPrints.com, they can look at all of our layouts, all of our clip arts, all of our stuff, and then they have to come back to you to place the order. So EasyPrints.com is a fantastic marketing, advertising tool for you guys. We make it specifically for you. We keep it updated. I have seen plenty of customers, just like you all listening to me right now, who have had their business cards made up with EasyPrints.com on their business card. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point of EasyPrints.com. Now, you heard me mention it earlier, word of mouth. Word of mouth truly, truly, truly is always going to be your best advertising tool. Getting your name out there, telling people who you are. Again, one of my suggestions earlier when we talked about pricing is to consider the idea of offering introductory pricing, maybe some kind of local business discount if you live within the city of Mentor where you started your shirt up or your shirt shop up. Maybe you give people in Mentor a small discount, and I assure you that when person number one is making shirts up for their business, person number two comes along and says, hey, where did you get the shirts for your business or for little Timmy's baseball team, what have you? Person number one is going to tell person number two where they got it from. So word of mouth is always going to be your best way of advertising. So make sure to find a way to get yourself out there. Again, flyers were another great idea. So there's all sorts of ways to get yourself out there. Even if you're just buying from us here at Transfer Express, we sell you blank idea, or not blank idea books, I'm sorry, but black and white idea books. Black and white idea books that don't say Transfer Express on them, where you can take that black and white idea book, slap a sticker with your company's name on it, with your phone number on it, and hand that idea book to a school, to the church down the street. Even if they don't need something right then, you're putting your designs, the idea book, you're putting your information. If you slap a sticker with your name and info and phone number on it, you're putting yourself in front of them. So just another idea to get yourself out there. On-site events, if you're going to be one of those people that travels with your heat press, go to maybe local basketball tournament, maybe a local cancer run, wherever you might be going. If you're going somewhere on-site, have personalization. Have a banner, have a sign, not just, and of course, wear shirts that you've customized yourself with your own business. That's basic advertising right there. Design your own shirt with your own business, have it on, but beyond that, have signs, have banners, have sales flyers there with you on site. That's another fantastic opportunity. Again, my favorite on this list is Facebook and Twitter. Social media is another thing that's here to stay, folks, even if you're one of those people where you think, oh, the kids today on Facebook. Okay, even if you yourself don't want to go home at night and spend the last 2 hours of your day surfing Facebook, there are plenty of people who do. And that's a great place for you to do your advertising. That's a great place to get your name out there, to show people what you can do. Facebook and Twitter offer you a space that you can show people what you do. Have a contest on your Facebook page. Show them, here's a t-shirt I made, here's another t-shirt I made. Which design do you like the most? Vote now. And there's all sorts of stuff you can do. So these are just advertising ideas, folks. They're by no means going to seal the deal, if you will. These aren't the be-all, end-all, but just some places for you to start, certainly. And number 10, billing policies. This is a fun topic in and of itself that I know, again, if there's any accountants out there, I know that you're saying to yourself, we could talk about this topic for half an hour alone also. Also, being that I'm from an entrepreneurial family, I know that billing is a whole problem in and of itself when you're a brand new business just starting up. One of the biggest questions right out the gate is, will you extend terms? Will you extend to your customers? Maybe you've got a really good customer. Maybe you've got a local rec league that is coming to you for baseball and basketball and soccer. Are you going to give them the option of paying you every 30 days? There's a whole set of problems that comes along with that. Suddenly you have to play collector as well on occasion if they're behind on their payments. But it's something for you to think about. It's an option to extend to your very high volume, very good customers. Maybe people who have good credit. Do you do a credit check? Can you do a credit check? There's all sorts of questions that go along with this concept of extending terms. But it's a question for you to ask yourself and for you to decide if it's a viable option for your business. Credit cards are another thing. Obviously, I don't know about you, I have gotten to the point where I don't even carry paper money around with me very often. I use my credit card for everything. So credit cards are definitely something you need to consider. PayPal is a fantastic place to start. PayPal is a great place for starting business, and not even just starting businesses. There are plenty of people who live and die by PayPal, so PayPal is a great option if you don't have it already. Even those old-timers who are out there thinking, oh, I already know all this stuff, if you're not doing PayPal, it's a great option for you. And here is probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you in terms of billing. And this is just through the stories that our dealers tell me over the phone, different things that I have experienced myself being in this industry. Get a deposit. It is a standard thing. It's not something that's totally unheard of. It's not crazy. What you're doing for your customers is you're custom printing. Everything you're going to make for people who walk through your door is going to be custom printed generally. So if you're custom printing, there is nothing wrong with asking for a 50% deposit up front. It's an investment to guarantee that you have something to show for your time if, God forbid, craziness ensues, weird things happen, people get weird, people cancel, people back out, whatever occurs, having a 50% deposit is helpful regardless. So just some suggestions, just some ideas to get out there to you folks. Okay, that is the list, and we have a couple minutes remaining. Just to remind everybody, there is going to be a PDF of the slides available at greatgarmentgraphics.com. So now, Jody, are there any questions we can get to here?
Oh, yes. There's a whole list of questions, Andy. I did answer a couple of them. One attendee did wonder if the Fusion or the Max were brand or company names. And I did want to make clear that those are actually model names. So those are types of heat presses within the Hotronix family of heat presses. So Hotronix is actually the manufacturer of the Fusion and the Max machines.
Great point, yeah.
One of the questions, no, that's okay, Andy. Do you charge, Andy, the cost of shipping the garments from, let's say, your garment manufacturer, Sanmar, Broder, etc., to the retail customer? Do you pass that cost on?
That's actually a great question, and you can take that question and you can build on that actually, because in addition to the concept of do you charge for shipping, there's also the idea of do I charge for my time? Do I have a production cost in there? Honestly, this is a question you have to answer for yourselves, because keep in mind you are doubling your cost, the garment plus the transfer, you're doubling that cost. So the question is, okay, if your shipping is cheap enough, do I just absorb that myself? I could say that a vast majority of people do absorb that cost. A vast majority of people do that, or what you can do is incorporate that shipping cost into the garment cost. So when you're telling your customer how much that garment is, inflate that by 10 cents or a quarter, and that helps you to absorb that shipping cost. So again, just an idea for you. That's a question you have to answer for yourself, Jennifer.
That's absolutely right. One question about the easy prints. One attendee wanted to know, Frank wanted to know if we could add additional text. And also, can you save the design that you create onto your computer?
Well, Frank, yes. Yes and yes, in some capacity or another. As far as adding text, oh gosh, yes. We have plenty of customers that call us up and say, hey, I want QAL123, but I want to add this, and I want to add that, and I want to put one of these here. Absolutely. You can go nuts, add as much as you want. You can save them to your computer, yes. After you've clicked the Easy View button and it generates that preview, you right-click with your mouse. You right-click onto that and save image as. You can save that to your desktop. Or after you've gone through all that trouble, when you're on that page, you can actually submit it to your shopping cart and then save it for later from your shopping cart. So another option there too.
Great. Vince would like to know, Andy, what causes a heat mark around the garment? Is it heat or pressure or both?
Ooh, boy, Vince.
Mostly on he's
What?
having trouble with moisture management, as you know, the polyester.
That sounds about right. Um, the catch, Vince, that's sort of a difficult question to answer in 30 seconds or less. A lot of those garments, if you read the tag on them, they say do not iron. And the reason for that is they are heat sensitive. They react to the heat, and the mark you're seeing is the chemicals or the weave of the fabric itself reacting to the heat or the pressure. And when you have those types of garments, it's best, whomever you're getting the product from, whether it's Stalls or Transfer Express or whomever, it's best to inquire about a product that is a low pressure or a low heat application. Also, what you want to do if you're experiencing that type of problem, you might need to go back to the manufacturer of the garment and ask them, hey, I have to heat press. What product do you recommend I heat press on of yours?
And also, I do know one solution we have found here that's very helpful is the Print Perfect pad. And if you only elevate the surface with the Print Perfect pad that you're actually printing on, you can actually, so you don't get that whole sort of heat mark around like the heat press mark. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just right there on the design. And eventually it does go away, we've found. So,
great example, yeah.
Jana would like to know, she's pressing on 100% poly, and I don't think this is a question we could answer in 30 seconds or less either, but I did want to acknowledge it. And it seems that she's having trouble. She said, how do you make it work? So I guess maybe if you could just give 3 top points, you know, the trifecta to check.
For what exactly? I'm sorry.
Pressing on 100% polyester. Suggestions.
Oh, pressing on 100% polyester. Okay. Number 1, make sure you've got the right transfer type. There are transfer types that are more geared towards polyester. There are transfer types that are more geared towards other fabrics. So make sure you've got the right transfer type. Make sure your polyester is not especially heat sensitive. Make sure you've got something that is not going to melt. Do your homework when you're doing your ordering. Make sure to read tags. Make sure to go through all that stuff. That's the best examples I can give you. The best advice I can give you.
Okay. We have question, time for I think 1 or 2 more questions, and then for whatever questions we don't answer, we will answer you via email, or you'll find them in our post-webinar blog. But one is, how much lead time should he advise a customer to order when ordering custom art? Zach would like to know that, in order to receive orders in a timely manner.
Oh, okay, that's a good question, Zach. We didn't really cover that too much, did we? Custom transfers, specifically with Transfer Express here, if you're ordering your custom artwork, so not out of our idea book, those orders go on a 3-day turnaround time. Part of what you need to build into that is where you're getting your garments from and how long that's taking. So as long as you're getting stock garments and that's not taking too long, usually all of that can happen within the 3 days that the transfers are being made. So lead times, it also sort of comes down to how busy you are, Zach, how much you're doing in your shop. If you are a one-man operation or a couple-man operation, or how much time you have. But generally speaking, you want to give yourself at least a couple days to make errors or to play with things. But the idea is, at Transfer Express, with how fast we operate, you can have product turned around within a week. So just a place to start thinking at the very least. But that's a lot of things you have to answer for yourself too. How busy am I? How much time do I have? How much time am I going to take?
Okay. And that is it for our questions. I think we are out of time. I do see some, and for those of you that have asked and haven't received an answer, I can assure you, you will receive an answer via email. And I do apologize that we weren't able to address them right here so everybody could hear.
Absolutely. Our marketing girls are going to help me go through these questions. I'm going to answer some. They're going to answer some. You will get emails back from one of us very, very soon, I promise. And here's another note, folks, right as we're winding down here. Do you have a suggestion for a webinar? If you have joined me a bunch of times and you are enjoying these webinars, if you have a suggestion for a topic, we encourage you to email your ideas to us at info@transferexpress.com. I myself will be joining you back here on November 15th for Advanced Transfer Techniques. The next Great Garment Graphics webinar, though, is going to be the 23rd of October, Digital Heat Transfer Media, choosing the right media for the job. That's Incredible's Warehouse, so make sure to come back and join us again. Thank you for having me today, Jody.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining. And everyone, to all, have a great afternoon.